Lore Master Jito here. I'm the librarian of Azeroth, and I'm bringing you the lore straight from the books. Today we're reading the second section from the Priest Order Hall book, Word of the Conclave, written by Juves, historian of the Conclave. This second section covers Ta'ur, Beacon of the Naaru. This shard of light was instrumental in getting the Draenei to the safety of Azeroth. Ta'ur is one of the purest physical embodiments of the light in existence. The dynamic energies that flow through this artifact can heal wounds both physical and mental. They can inspire hope in times of overwhelming darkness and fortify timid hearts with courage. But perhaps Ta'ur's greatest strength is what we can learn from its past. If there's one thing to take away from its history, it's this. Even one brave soul wielding the light can save the lives of thousands. The Draenei have many legends about the benevolent Naaru. Few are as cherished as the tale of Ta'ur. Like other Naaru, Ta'ur vowed to protect all mortal civilizations in the universe from the clutches of darkness. This noble quest eventually led the holy being to a world called Karkora. Its mortal denizens face annihilation at the hands of a monstrous entity known as Dimensius, the All-Devouring. As Dimensius shrouded Karkora in void energies, Ta'ur expanded its own life force to spare the world from doom. The Naaru shattered into fragments and sparked a colossal holy nova. The energy cascaded over Karkora, washing away the void and banishing Dimensius from the world. From the Draenei holy tome entitled Lessons in Hope and Sacrifice. Ta'ur had shattered, but even broken, its light was undiminished. Each piece blazed like a star, drawing Naaru from the far corners of creation. They scooped up Ta'ur's glittering fragments, and they sang songs of the sacrifice that had saved a world. The Naaru gifted these shards to various races that they believed showed potential for good. The largest piece of Ta'ur was passed to our own ancestors, the ancient Eredar of Argus. It is said that this artifact plummeted from the sky like a falling star. Night turned to day, and Ta'ur's glorious light painted the heavens in shades of gold for a full week. The Eredar were a highly erudite people who cherished learning, and they studied Ta'ur with great curiosity. The first among them to truly harness the artifact's power for good was the wise leader named Velen. During Velen's time, a strange curse spread across Argus. The victims found their minds addled, their memories diminished. Few things terrified the Eredar as much as losing their precious knowledge. They reacted with fear and paranoia. To prevent others from contracting this affliction, many of the Eredar considered quarantining the cursed or even banishing them from Argus. Yet Velen would not abandon his people. At great risk to himself, he walked among the cursed with Ta'ur in hand. Velen called upon the artifact's power and cured all of the stricken Eredar. An excerpt from The Corruption of the Eredar and the Flight of the Draenei by the historian Lore. When Sargeras came to Argus to corrupt the Eredar, nearly all fell under his sway. Velen and his followers were the exception. With the Naaru's help, they embarked on a harrowing escape from their home. The going was not easy. Demons awaited the fleeing Eredar at every corner. Despair gripped the renegades, and many even considered giving up. It was during this dark and trying time that Velen brought Ta'ur to bear. Its brilliant energies shone before the renegades and renewed their dwindling confidence. Emboldened by the artifact, Velen's followers believed that they could do the impossible, that they could complete their daring flight from Argus, and so they did. From that day forward, the renegades called themselves the Draenei. It is a name that everyone on Azeroth now knows, but if not for Ta'ur, perhaps the Draenei would never have come to be. Aboard a dimensional fortress called the Genedar, the Draenei fled across the stars. The demons pursued them relentlessly, determined to punish the renegades for escaping corruption. The long millennia that followed were harsh on the Draenei. They could not rest. The threat of capture haunted their dreams. To defend themselves against the Legion, many turned to Ta'ur and other holy artifacts brought from Argus. The Draenei studied these relics and honed their connection to the light under the tutelage of Velen and the Naaru. A student named Askara showed more promise than the rest. In time, she would earn the right to carry Tu'ur, and she would become one of the greatest healers the Draenei would ever know. Iskara had lost her entire family on Argus, but she found a new one aboard the Genedar. She saw the Draenei as her brothers and sisters, and she vowed to do whatever she could to protect them. Yet she was not gifted with physical strength or a talent for forging armaments. Instead, she turned to the light. Her mastery of holy magic became so great that Velen eventually gave Tu'ur to her. Iskara spent her every waking hour studying the artifact and unlocking its extraordinary potential. It was during this time that Iskara received a vision of the future. She foresaw her people finding a sanctuary from the Legion, a new life, a new world to call home. But strangely, she did not see herself there. The Draenei visited many different worlds in search of a safe haven, but they rarely stayed for very long before the Burning Legion would learn of their whereabouts. Before the demons could confront them, the Draenei would gather aboard the Genedar and disappear into the stars once again. The Legion's relentless pursuit bred depression and pessimism in the many Draenei, but they did not suffer in silence. Iskara sought out her forlorn kin and spoke to them of their troubles. She carried Tu'ur with her at all times, the relic casting an aura of holy magic around her that lifted the other Draenei's spirits. It is true that the Legion is vast and mighty, but they do not stand in the light as we do, Iskara often said. No matter how strong our enemy is, if they walk in darkness, they will always stumble and fall. From the Draenei Holy Tome entitled The Second Son of Shargel. The Burning Legion had lain in wait for us on Shargel, watching as we disembarked from the Genedar and set foot on the world. We believed we'd found a place to settle, a place to start over again. We were wrong. Fell portals screamed open all around us, spewing forth Doomguards, Fellhounds, and other horrors. The Legion's forces cornered us, cutting off our retreat to the Genedar. I thought we were done for. Then I saw her. I saw Iskara. She planted herself between us and the demons. Tu'ur held high. A storm of light erupted around her, blinding the Legion's minions and shielding us from their fell-touched blades. As we battled our way to the Genedar, Tu'ur grew brighter and brighter until it shone like a second sun on Shargel. When the Burning Legion beset the Draenei on Shargel, Iskara finally understood the strange vision of the future she had seen long ago. One day her people would locate a new home, but she was not fated to join them. She would die on Shargel to give them a chance to find that sanctuary. Iskara and 70 other Draenei volunteered to distract the Legion. With their blood, they would buy the rest of the renegades the time to escape Shargel. The battle between the demons and these brave defenders would go down as one of the greatest instances of self-sacrifice in Draenei history. Hundreds of demons smashed into the 71 like a battering ram of fell-forged steel. But the defenders gave no ground, not a single inch. Every time a Draenei teetered on the brink of death, Iskara was there. She charged through the battle lines and mended the wounded with Tu'ur's holy light. Because of Iskara, the 71 fought with the courage and strength of 1,000. Because of her, the Draenei race escaped annihilation. After the Battle of Shargel, Tu'ur fell into the Burning Legion's hands. The demons had witnessed Iskara's heroic last stand, and they attributed her immense power to the strange artifact. Legion forces squabbled over control of the relic before Kil'jaeden the Deceiver finally decided whom it would go to. He entrusted the artifact to an Eredar priestess named Lady Calindris. She was one of the few demons who understood the Draenei's holy magics. What was more, Calindris had an intimate knowledge of Tu'ur itself. Long ago on Argus, the priestess had acted as a caretaker of the Eredar's holy relics. It took years before Calindris finally bent Tu'ur to her will. After a series of grim rituals, she transformed the artifact into a dark reflection of itself. Where once Tu'ur inspired hope, now it would spread fear. Where once the relic healed, now it would cause wounds to fester. Lady Calindris relished bending Tu'ur to her will and using its corrupted power against her foes. She loathed the Draenei, and the thought of befouling their cherished artifact delighted her to no end. Calindris grew so talented at wielding Tu'ur that the demon lord Kil'jaeden gave her a special task. She would serve as a torturer on the Legion's prison worlds. Calindris was well suited for this role. She made an art out of inflicting suffering on her captives, and images of Tu'ur filled their nightmares. Much like Askara, Calindris eventually received a vision of the future. She foresaw the Legion invading the world of Azeroth and bathing it in fellfire. Strangely, Calindris herself was not there. But Tu'ur was. A stranger wielded the artifact in its glorious true form, and its light blinded the Legion's forces, shining over the land like a second sun. And that was Tu'ur, beacon of the Naaru, from the word of the Conclave in the Legion Priest Order Hall. Let me know your thoughts on the lore we uncovered today in the comments below. If you're craving more lore, here's a few recommendations from the collection to browse. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to activate your library card and check out more books with me, the Librarian of Azeroth. Thanks for watching.